minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to begin by recognizing the incredibly important work of my colleague from Ohio, Mr. Wenstrup, in ensuring that we bring more physicians and care providers into the VA so that more veterans can get access to quality, timely care, producing better outcomes for them. Of course, it is these veterans who have served this country so honorably, have put their lives on the line, and now it's our turn to fulfill our obligation. And Dr. Wenstrup's underlying legislation is going to ensure that we get a step closer to doing that. He will agree with me, I hope, that one of our challenges is recruiting the right talent into the VA out of residency programs across the country. Right now, the VA is operating with one hand tied behind its back because it limits itself to the last year of a medical residency before it begins talking to that resident to try to recruit them to serve at the VA. Meanwhile, most residents begin making career decisions a year or two earlier than that. And private sector clinics, hospitals, other public institutions are talking to those residents, trying to recruit them, and successfully bringing them to places other than the VA. This amendment will allow the VA to begin recruiting and offering conditional job offers with 2 years left in a residency. It will help us to address the fact that today there are 43,000 authorized, funded positions that are open in the VA where we don't have the doctors, the psychiatrists, the primary care providers, the medical professionals we need to provide the care that veterans need. We need to begin recruiting earlier, more effectively, and more successfully. This amendment to the underlying legislation will allow us to do that. And I hope that I will have the support of my friend from Ohio, of the ranking member of the full committee, and of my colleagues here in the chamber. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back the balance. What purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Chair, I ask unanimous consent to rise in opposition, although I am not opposed.
Without objection, the gentleman from Ohio is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chair, I rise in support of my friend and colleague, Representative O'Rourke's amendment, which would allow VA to offer physicians conditional job offers 2 years prior to the completion of their residency, and also require VA recruiters or other officials to visit each teaching institution with a residency program at least once a year. It's a great idea and one that I greatly appreciate. VA's existing workforce is increasingly retirement eligible, and historically, VA has performed poorly in comparison to other federal agencies when it comes to hiring younger employees. By creating a pipeline of young, up-and-coming physicians willing to practice in VA medical facilities and committed to VA service, this amendment would help ensure that the VA healthcare system is fully staffed to care for our veterans for years to come. The text of this amendment passed the House last year as an amendment to H.R. 5620, and I'm grateful to Representative O'Rourke for submitting it as an amendment to H.R. 1367 today. I urge all of my colleagues to join me in supporting this amendment. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Ohio yields back the balance of his time. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Texas. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.